is the true cost of absolute luxury. To claim this plate, money is never enough. It is priced in blood. By 20 hours of brutal, sleepless labor on the frozen steel decks of the Bering Sea, where solid black walls of water, 40 feet high, wait to crush those who refuse to bow. What you are swallowing is not just pure meat born at negative 49 degrees Fahrenheit. You are tasting the ultimate submission to the fury of the ocean. The year 1867. America seized the Alaskan wilderness from the Russian Tsar for a pitiful $7.2 million. Back then, this prehistoric creature was considered ocean trash, a sullen destroyer with razor-sharp claws tearing apart expensive salmon nets. But the 1976 foreign vessel ban flipped the order. The destroyer officially took the throne. Fleets flooded the seas, pushing production to a historic 200 million pounds in 1981. Human greed turned the Bering Abyss into the largest seafood gold mine on Earth. "600 feet down, where light cannot reach, nature shields this crustacean in a frozen sanctuary, the cold pool, a brutal temperature barrier strictly maintained below 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Snow crab blood carries a specialized antifreeze protein, helping them rule where apex predators like Pacific cod cannot enter. To forge a polycarbonate armor as hard as steel, they must endure 10 months of agonizing molting. But the ocean is boiling. A mere 5 degrees Fahrenheit rise from climate change instantly doubles their caloric needs. With no food left, they descend into frenzy, triggering mass starvation. $10 billion snow crabs wiped out in just a few years, a silent biological tragedy right at the bottom of the deep sea. Looking at 10 billion lives vanishing into nothingness, is the ocean sending an ultimatum to human greed? When supply collapses, monopoly takes the Tyrone. Luxury dining molds an ecological disaster into $1 million market exclusively for the elite. Reality television canonizes fishermen, turning them into modern-age warriors. Yet the culinary reality is exquisitely cruel. The elite raise crystal glasses, snapping 3-foot-long legs to flaunt power, completely blind to the bone-chilling battle screaming offshore.
Watch out!
In the deep abyss, snow crabs are no innocent victims. They are cold-blooded cannibals. When the old shell sheds, leaving the body fragile, larger individuals instantly lunge in tearing apart their own kind to survive. But the ocean's most ruthless killer is invisible: ghost traps. Giant cages with severed cables, resting permanently under the continental shelf. The first crab dies, its corpse instantly becomes the bait. 2025 report in Norway reveals over 150,000 pounds of crab have been executed in these self-operating coffins. A silent, endless genocide beneath the Bering Sea. Leaving Dutch Harbor, the 130-foot steel vessel is now just a speck of dust, drifting in the Bering graveyard. At -4°F, sea foam launched into the air instantly turns into deadly ice, clinging to the scaffolding. Weight increases by tons every hour. Without frantically smashing it with sledgehammers, the ship will lose its center of gravity and capsize in the blink of an eye. Men working 20 hours without rest, hands swollen and numb, faces scarred by wind shear and frostbite. The silence is torn apart. A 1,000-pound monster takes the bait. Hydraulic winches smoke from friction. 5,000-pound cables stretch to distortion, cracking dryly like breaking bones. Inside the cabin, the captain strains his eyes on the sonar screen. Locking the target onto the cold pool coordinates. Frozen herring bait boxes, radiating a pungent stench, are loaded into the 900-pound mesh-wrapped steel trap. The super tensile cable tears the water surface, dragging the machine straight down into the 500-foot abyss. The firepower is unwavering, but the first hull is empty twi. The frantic sea storm has torn apart the locator buoys, or brutal ocean currents have buried the $1,000 cage beneath the thick mud. Worse, when the trap jams into a reef, the hydraulic winch keeps roaring as it pulls. The waterlogged cable stretches like a bowstring, exceeding its 30,000-pound limit until it snaps. It whips back through the air like a steel sword, claiming the life of anyone in its path in just 1/4 of a second. Amidst a -4°F storm, facing an empty cage and lurking death, do you have the nerves of steel to cast the next trap? The second trap shatters the water surface, locked into a glowing red wall, crowded with giant claws. The steel cage moves to the center of the ship. The latch opens. A golden rain pours heavily onto the steel deck. Exhaustion vanishes, dopamine explodes. The captain roars a song of triumph, through the horn tearing through the storm. But there is no time to rest. Immediately, the battle with the ruler of death begins. With lightning-fast maneuvers, federal law dictates keeping only males meeting the 3.1-inch standard. Tens of thousands of female and juvenile crabs are mercilessly thrown back into the white foam. The remaining spoils slide down the pipes into the live tanks, a supercooled, highly oxygenated, flooded hold system. This environment forces them into hibernation, locking the meat quality at absolute freshness and perfection. Heavy with tens of thousands of lives below deck, the ship, stained with grease and rust, drags itself back to Dutch Harbor. Stepping onto the concrete, feet forged to balance in violent waves, suddenly tumble. Behind a security fence, mothers and wives scan the deck. They do not care about the crab count. They count the faces, they hold their breath, praying their men return intact. The tight embraces melt the frozen salt on their cheeks. A multi-million-dollar campaign paid in a few L with sweat, blood, and tears. Leaving the ship hold, stepping through the factory doors, the life of the ocean is stripped away by ruthless mechanical perfection. A razor-sharp blade flips them over, severing and tearing the 3-foot leg clusters from the hard shell. All gills and organs are violently blasted away by high-pressure water, boiled in seawater to lock in the primal sweetness for exactly 18 minutes, then rapidly chilled. A toro emerges, marble veins melting at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The jewel of the abyss is extracted from deep sea pressure to refinement on a porcelain plate. The boundary between nature and luxury is just one knife strike away. When you use silver tongs to taste that pure meat hauled from the bottom of the Bering Abyss, are you savoring a rare masterpiece of creation or sipping the cruel price of human dominance? 10 billion crabs have vanished from Alaska, turning the plate on your table into a luxury privilege, dripping with blood. But thousands of miles away, a terrifying scale ecological invasion is exploding. In the Bering Sea, millions of snow crabs are rising to conquer new territory, igniting a fierce geopolitical war between Norway and Russia over a treasure stolen from nature. The ocean is mutating, and a more dangerous phantom is rising from the mud. What will be the fate of the kingdom when the ultimate apex predator is no longer human, but the invasive green crab, the most voracious and brutal biological killing machine on the planet?